right, welcome back, folks. It's down to the wire then for Western Province Club Rugby. Jerome, before we talk about Club Rugby, you've got some interesting things happening with some of the players at the moment. Quite a lot of Club Rugby guys again coming through the ranks.
Yeah, we had last week we had sort of the final trials with the under 21 contracted guys against the non-contracted guys. So we had a group of 35 players from the clubs. Club sent us the players, and we played last Wednesday and that holiday day afternoon against the contracted guys. And the guys that actually did well, the non-contracted guys from the clubs. So we've got 10 guys.
What do you mean non-contracted guys from the clubs? Do you have some contracted guys playing club rugby?
There's contracted guys playing club rugby also, yeah.
Okay.
From the under 21 squad. So we played against the sort of the guys who have contracts, the guys from the clubs. Pretty good. The guys from the clubs were pretty good. So there's 10 guys at the moment joining the under 21 squad, which they start next week. Playing against the Sharks in the Currie Cup under 21 competition, so that's good for club rugby. And like we always
say, are these guys playing? Are they playing under 20 club rugby, under 21 club rugby?
No, they play. No. What we did.
Oh, some of them playing seniors.
Most of the guys, 99% of the guys are guys playing in the first team. So we actually asked the clubs to send the guys who's playing first team, because the under 21 Currie Cup, it's a lot of players who played Currie Cup.
Okay.
So it's a tough competition.
So a lot of these players that you've got here are in fact playing for the seniors first team at a club rugby level, but they're still juniors. Well, not really juniors, but they're still under 21.
So just an example, the lock from Hamilton's, Ian van Reeren, the winger who scored a try, the 15 from Hamilton's who's playing first team for Hamilton's.
Yeah.
There's guys from Heidelberg playing first team. Guys from CPUT is playing in the first team. Guys from Villages, from Fallsby, whichever club.
Yes.
It's all mostly the guys who are playing in the first team that were there. So, yeah, so they're in the under 21 squad now. Okay. So hopefully a few of them will get the opportunity to play, which I think they will get.
I mean, that's quite a big a tick box for any club when they know that they've got such young players playing in their first team.
Yeah, JP, and that's what I always say to the club coaches is like, and then some coaches, to be very honest, some coaches are still talking about, can I use the guy this week? Can I use the guy this? I think don't be selfish. There's an opportunity for a guy to play provincial rugby.
Well, I think that's already an unspoken rule, is that if you have always, the rule is if you have, the higher honour always takes priority. If you're a provincial player and you get called up for the Springboks, you go to the Springboks. If you're any player and you get called up to represent South Africa, you go up. If you're a club and you get called up for provincial, you go to provincial. These are old
I wish
rules.
It was so easy as you say it now. I wish the club coaches listen to you now.
I've got a funny feeling that somewhere along the line it's actually in a bylaw.
It is in the bylaw.
Maybe
and
that's
rugby. They all know that.
Maybe that might be for Western Province Rugby. I'm talking now just in the spirit of sport. In the general spirit of sport,
no, it's not a bad thing. I just say some coaches still try their luck and say that leave the guy. He's got an opportunity. He might become the next Springbok.
Yeah. All right, folks. Let's quickly take a look at before we start picking our next Springboks, which Jerome is about to do. I know you've put a few players in the Springbok team already, but let's quickly take a look at some of your results that came in this past weekend. Of course, in Super League A, NTK with that win over Kuils River, 44-43, Unimill 21-7 over False Bay, and Hamilton's 34-25. Jerome, let's quickly talk about that. We were just talking about that before the break. There's a 7-point margin on the log now between Kuils River and NTK. Kuils River will still have to play, well, in fact, that's it now for Kuils River. They've played their final game. NTK was their last game. And then for NTK themselves, if I have my ducks in a row.
Kuils River still have to play Villages.
I don't have Villages on my list for. Do you see Kuils River still having to play Villages?
I think they still have to play, and they still have to play Marties also.
All right, so NTK still has to play against Villages, UCT and Unimill. There could be some points changes there. And Kales River have to play against... well, I think I've got my pieces of paper all muddled up here now.
I think they play Villages and Marties.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, either way, Kales River are definitely going to have to do a little bit of make sure that they've got their ducks in a row if they want to avoid that those last few points there. Let's take a look now at the results in Super League B. Collegians, well, let's go straight to All Saints, 47-7 over Carlamore. Strand went down to Hands and Hearts. CPUT 24-19 over Langa. Belleville 14-27 over at least went down to SK Warmers. And then Primrose beating Bellahar 22 points to 17. Jerome, results that jump out for me there. Big win for Hands and Hearts over Strand. And then Primrose and Bellahar. Bellahar would have needed those points also to stay away from the bottom of the log there. And CPUT will be happy with that result.
Yeah, they will be happy with that result because they lost against SK the previous week, so I think they will be happy. Yeah.
Let's go to Super League C now. Macassar 16-3 over Morningstar. Hamadiers with a win over Blue Jets, and then Eerste Rivier drawing with Penil Villages. Okay, so we are seeing some exciting movements there, and of course, don't forget that it is also the promotional league playing out at the moment. So it is all coming down to the wire. Let's take a look at some of your fixtures then coming up this weekend. Of course, we're going to show you now the Wednesday fixtures as well as the Saturday fixtures. So Jerome, Marty's Villages, I think that match is tonight. UCT Tygerberg, then Unimil and Helderberg. This coming weekend, starting it off there, Villages and or Unimil and Helderberg, that's going to be a big one. It's going to be Unimil and Helderberg. Unimil are currently sitting at number 1 on the log, but that's going to be a big one, Unimil Helderberg.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one because Unimil coming off a great win against Falsbay, which was a tough game, but it's going to be tough for Helderberg going to Unimil because the way they play now at the moment is going to be tough, but it's going to be an interesting game, yeah.
UWC are in serious trouble this year. They look like they're heading for relegation. They're going to come up against Durban this weekend. That's going to be a tough game for them. Will they have the motivation to play this game?
Look, they haven't played a few games, so I don't know how good they can be this week. And Durban obviously is a quality side. It's going to be tough, tough for UWC.
When it was the Kales River game, they played against Hamlets. Hamlets, regardless of the result, they were still positive. They enjoyed their rugby. They play against Hamiltons this weekend. Hamiltons this weekend have to play away from home against Hamlets. Could we see a surprise here?
Look, I think Hamiltons mustn't underestimate Hamlets at Hamlets because what I think it was Durban who struggled when they played there. They just managed to beat Hamlets there. So Hamiltons must go with their stronger side if they want to beat Hamlets there.
Yeah, Jerome, Brackenfell and Kales River, this is going to be a massive game. They're not far from each other. It's literally a derby match. If you want to think, well, it's close enough to be a derby match. Brackenfell also really, really have a small chance of still making to the top 6. And Kales River are going to be trying to make sure that they avoid the numbers in terms of the bottom 13. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I think for Kales River it's gonna be a tough game. They can beat Brackenfell, but it's gonna be tough. But if I were their coaches, I would just play to get as much points out of the game.
Yeah.
Win or lose, and then it can even up between NNK and them.
All right, let's take a look then at the fixtures in Super League B. And this weekend coming, it's SK Warmers up against Strand. CPUT take on Belhar, Hands and Hearts and Vineyards, Primrose and Langa, Collegians and Belleville. Jerome, that Collegians-Belleville game looks for me like that's going to be a big game.
Yeah, there's going to be a big game.
For Hands and Hearts as well, they'll be positive about their win over Strand this past weekend. They take on Vineyards, but Hands and Hearts will be playing with a lot of spirit.
Yeah, they will. Vineyards are doing well this season, but the Hands and Hearts in Kraaifontein is also going to be tough. Yeah. But Vineyards are playing good rugby.
Yeah. Your plans for the weekend?
Hopefully go watch one or two games again.
Yeah. Would you have a pick of the week out of the Super League A fixtures? Hamlet's Hamiltons, UWC Durbell, Villages NTK, St George's Marty's, Brackenfell Kelsrover.
I think that Unimil Helderberg is going to be a good one.
Unimil Helderberg.
Yeah.
All right, of course, Helderberg has to travel. Unimil are currently sitting at number 1 on the log, folks. Unimil really has shown some remarkable growth in the last 5 or 6 years. Just getting stronger and stronger. So look out for that game there. And of course, NTK themselves at Jerome, I think is going to be a big game against Villages. It might be a mountain to climb, but NTK need the points. And who knows? Who knows? Never call it before the game. Jerome, we'll leave it at that and say to you, thanks for joining us. And of course, folks, before we go though, our Score Energy Drinks winner, of course, congratulations to Michael Percival. Michael, you walk away with this week's case of Score Energy Drinks. And of course, go to our Facebook page. The correct answer, by the way, was Fundestel in our Spot the Team competition. So congratulations, Michael. And we will get in touch with you on Facebook Messenger, where you can come and collect your case of Score Energy Drinks. Keep looking out for our Score Energy Drinks competition, folks, on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Jerome, thanks for joining me, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, obviously back at the same time, so...
Yeah. Thanks, Jerome. Right, folks, there we go. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.